Even Mike Tyson steered clear of this 400-pound powerhouse. And it's easy to see why. When ButterBean steps into the ring, every opponent suddenly remembers he's fighting a walking anvil. No fancy footwork, no polite jabs, just raw, unbridled force. Tonight, we're counting down 9 of his most devastating knockouts. Shocked victims, stunned crowds, and that one right hand everyone still talks about. This is Boxing Expose. Let's go. Versus Pat Jackson. From the opening bell, Jackson looked every bit the mountain of muscle he was billed to be. Long, sharp jabs snapping off at ButterBean's guard within the first 10 seconds. He landed 6 straight 1-2 combinations, testing Bean's vision and rhythm, but Eric absorbed each shot against his tight elbows, never letting his stance break. By the midpoint of round 1, ButterBean had stealthily edged inside Jackson's reach, planting his lead hand on Jackson's chest to halt the jab, and firing a vicious right hook straight into Jackson's floating ribs.
For ButterBean, as you heard. ButterBean tried.
The sound echoed through the arena as Jackson staggered, his breathing hitching. Unfazed, Bean dug 2 more hammer fists to the same spot, each blow driving the air from Jackson's lungs like a punch-activated bellows. Jackson's arms went limp, his corner screaming for response that never came. With 15 seconds left on the clock, ButterBean landed a final, crushing left hook that bent Jackson at the waist, and the corner threw in the towel before the bell could ring. The fight lasted barely 140 seconds, but that brutal body shot sequence instantly announced ButterBean as a knockout artist to fear.
Best punch of the fight. At the end of the round, he's separating the fighters, and referees cannot protect themselves at all times.
That was a body attack for the ages. You simply can't withstand that kind of punishment.
Fight 2 versus Jackie Beard. Beard entered the ring with every advantage. A 3-inch reach edge, fluid footwork, and a crisp jab that kept ButterBean off balance for the first 5 minutes. In round 1, Beard peppered Bean's guard with sharp counters, 1-2 combinations snapping off so quickly they left no mark, but tested Bean's defense and rhythm. Each time ButterBean lunged forward, Beard pivoted away, jabbing the chubster's shoulder and taunting him with a dismissive grin. Midway through the opening round, Beard even leaned in close to him.
Come on, chubster!
Only to backstep and score with another double jab. But ButterBean's secret weapon was his uncanny resilience. He weathered every snap jab and repeated lead hand feints without his stance wavering, slowly narrowing the distance as Beard's arms began to droop. By the end of round 1, Bean had begun to time Beard's rhythm, catching the jab, sliding his left hand outside Beard's guard, and stepping offline with each feint. That setup paid off immediately in round 2. Beard threw a feint jab, stepped in for a full right cross, and ButterBean, already coiled like a spring, exploded. He absorbed the cross on his forearm, dropped his weight, and detonated a singular, earth-shattering right hand into Beard's floating ribs. The arena fell silent as Beard launched straight upward, limbs flailing, before collapsing in a lifeless heap. One shot, instant legend. He hit him so hard, you could see it slow down in midair. Versus James Thompson, MMA. From the opening bell in that octagon, Thompson looked every bit the hulking colossus he'd been billed to be. Towering frame, heavy shoulders, and a stare that promised carnage. He closed the distance in an instant, firing off a double-leg takedown attempt that nearly flattened ButterBean against the mat. Bean sprawled hard, hips low, refusing to budge as Thompson rained down elbows, trying to soften him up before locking in a guillotine. But in the scramble, Thompson over-rotated, planting his weight forward, and for a split second, Bean saw his chance. He snapped his head up, twisted out of the clinch, and in one fluid motion cocked his arm like a medieval trebuchet.
There it is.
There you go.
There it is. Oh, that's about it. I mean, that's about...
As Thompson lunged with another elbow drop, ButterBean unloaded a massive overhand right. You could almost hear cartilage crack in slow motion, connecting flush on Thompson's temple. The giant's knees buckled immediately. His body arched back like a rag doll, then crumpled in a heap of stunned limbs. Silence fell across the arena before the referee swooped in, waving it off at 2:17 of round 1. Just like that, ButterBean proved his unorthodox power transcended boxing's ropes, turning MMA into his own personal highlight reel. You expect grappling, ground game, but he just slingshot it into knockout territory. Fight 4 versus Ed White, IBA title. From the opening bell, White charged forward like a battering ram, jab snapping off so sharply it punched the lights right out of ButterBean's vision, testing every ounce of his famed elephant skin defense. White landed 8 straight jabs to Bean's guard and ribs, each one pinging off with a metallic crack, before following up with a stiff right cross that snapped Bean's head back. For a full minute, White controlled range, circling, feigning jab, cross, never letting Bean settle or find his rhythm. But ButterBean was never the type to wilt under pressure. Midway through round 1, he began to time White's tell. The slight dip of White's left shoulder before committing to the second jab. On the 9th jab, Bean swiveled inside, planting both feet and, in the same heartbeat, unleashed a devastating left hook that torpedoed into White's midsection. The impact was seismic. White's torso collapsed inward, his legs buckled, and he folded at the waist as if struck by a freight train. He hit the canvas with a thud that echoed through the arena and lay motionless until the referee's count reached 8. With that one precise liver shot, ButterBean not only claimed the IBA championship belt, he turned a grueling jab fest into a one-moment highlight worthy of any title bout. That liver shot wasn't just a punch, it was a declaration. I'm here to dominate. 5 versus Jonathan Whitfield.
Jonathan Spider Whitfield!
From the first bell, Whitfield tried to bully ButterBean with pure size. Thundering forward on heavy feet, arms cocked for a power hook, and a guttural roar that echoed off the ropes. He snapped off 2 fierce right hands in the opening seconds, each one snapping Bean's guard backward and testing his legendary chin. But Whitfield's aggression carried him straight into Bean's wheelhouse. At the 20-second mark, ButterBean slipped a haymaker, planted his lead foot, and exploded with a brutal left uppercut into Whitfield's solar plexus. The arena rattled as Whitfield doubled over, wind ripped from his lungs. Sensing his moment, ButterBean stalked forward relentlessly. He drilled a right hook to the liver, an impact so thunderous it felt like steel on flesh. Then followed immediately with a looping left hook that caught Whitfield under the jaw. Whitfield's head snapped back, his legs folded like collapsing scaffolding. He hit the canvas at 1:05 of round 1, limbs splayed, eyes glazing over the top rope. The referee swooped in, counting out the stunned contender before he could even rise. With that whirlwind onslaught, ButterBean showcased that raw heart and timing can shatter even the biggest silhouettes.
I called it! That's what I called!
The bull sure looked fierce, until he looked at the canvas. Vitamin Street versus Doug Norris. From the opening bell, Norris treated it like a chess match, probing with a crisp jab, pivoting out of range and snapping a straight right that clipped ButterBean's guard clean on 3 occasions. He controlled the center of the ring for the entire first round, landing 12 jabs to Bean's gloves and ribs while never letting Bean set his feet. Yet Norris's textbook precision came at a cost. With each jab, he edged ever closer to Bean's lethal inside game. In round 2, ButterBean shifted tactics. He absorbed Norris's first 2 jabs on his forearms, then exploded forward, planting his lead hand on Norris's shoulder to nullify the jab. At 45 a second, Bean fired a devastating left hook into Norris's floating ribs. Norris, his body folding inward. Before Norris could take another breath, Bean followed with a right uppercut to the same spot. The impact so brutal Norris's eyes rolled back. His knees buckled, and he crumpled against the ropes. The referee waved it off at 10 minutes 20 seconds of round 2. In just over 2 minutes of action, ButterBean turned Norris's tactical war into an all-out brawl, and a highlight reel knockout that left no doubt about Bean's savage inside power. He turned a tactical war into an all-out brawl in seconds? Fight 7 versus Marcus R.H. From the opening bell, R.H. looked every bit the undefeated matador, light on his feet, jabbing in crisp 1-2 combinations that popped ButterBean's guard backward and tested his reflexes. Through round 1, R.H. landed 14 jabs and a straight right that snapped Bean's head back, controlling the center of the ring and taunting the bull with feints and footwork. Bean ate the shots on his forearms, never letting his stance break, and occasionally countered with short, snapping hooks to remind R.H. he wasn't invincible. Round 2 started much the same. RH dancing in and out, mixing head-level jabs with probing body shots, chipping away at Bean's ribs. But by the halfway mark, around 130, RH's arms began to sag. His movement slowed and his guard dipped. Sensing his moment, ButterBean planted his lead foot, closed the distance in a single stalking stride, and delivered a thunderous left hook into RH's floating ribs.
It was the body shots. He had hit him a couple good ones. And, you were right, Scott. Why would Rhodes stand in front?
The impact sounded like a drumbeat in the arena. RH crumpled instantaneously, wind expelled in a pained grunt, and collapsed against the ropes. Before he could even attempt to rise, ButterBean followed with a second hammering right hand, driving RH fully to the canvas. From gym room showdowns to near Tyson legend, ButterBean redefined what a knockout artist could be. No nobility, no finesse, just a 400-pound force of nature who dared the world to stop him. Which of these knockouts left you gasping? Was it the sky-high beard blast? Drop your pick in the comments. Let's settle once and for all who got the worst of Eric ButterBean Esch. This is Boxing Exposé. See you next time.